Use when you thought Ferrari's season couldn't get any messier. The Scuderia just dropped a secret move that mightn't I say this with my whole chest might rewrite the entire Formula One narrative going into 2026. We're talking covert test sessions, cryptic social media moves, whispered power struggles behind garage doors. And wait for it, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc being low-key pitted against each other. Like it's the final season of Drive to Survive. But baby, this ain't TV. This is real life. And what went down behind the closed gates of Mugello last Thursday? Oh, it's giving major energy shift. Ferrari might have just stumbled onto the one thing that could save their flailing SF-25. Or, and hear me out, it might expose a way deeper issue, so grab your popcorn. Pour yourself a glass of that weekend rose, because we're about to break down everything the test, the shade, the power moves, and the one decision that could blow up Ferrari's entire future. Let's get into it, okay? So here's the deal. Officially, Ferrari was doing a filming day at Mugello. Cute, right? A little promo footage, some Instagram reels, maybe a TikTok with Charles serving his signature brooding smolder in slow-mo. Wrong. Behind that carefully worded filming day was what sources are now calling Ferrari's most important test of the year, and maybe even the most important one since Lewis signed on. Insiders say the SF-25 that hit the track that day wasn't just being filmed, it was being tested. And not with your basic tweaks either. The entire rear suspension, completely re-engineered. Y'all, what? This wasn't just a touch-up. It was a whole new vibe. We're talking radical geometry changes, a suspension philosophy shift, and the kind of behind-the-scenes drama that gives House of the Dragon a run for its money. Now, what got everyone suspicious was the vibe online. First, there was Hamilton's cryptic Instagram story, just a black screen with a fire emoji and hashtag private session. Double quotes, no context, no captions, just drama. Then Charles posts this artsy black and white pic of him standing alone in the Mugello paddock with the caption, "Focus. Silence says more than words." Baby, are we in a Formula One garage or a Lana Del Rey music video? F1 Twitter naturally exploded. What are they hiding? New suspension. Are they finally fixing that cursed rear end? Leclerc looking like he just walked out of a breakup with the car. Hamilton is cooking. You can feel it. And then boom, someone leaks that the rear suspension wasn't just different. It was everything Ferrari engineers have been dreaming about since winter testing went off the rails. So let's talk about the actual problem. Because honey, Ferrari's been struggling. Since pre-season, the SF-25's been dealing with this nasty little demon called rear instability. Basically, the car acts like a diva when it hits a bump, and not in a fun Mariah Carey way, like unpredictable ride height, chaotic handling through high-speed corners, and zero consistency for the drivers. It's the kind of behavior that makes a driver go, do I trust this car with my life? And lately, the answer has been a soft no, but this new suspension, oh, girl, it's Ferrari's attempt at redemption, a total rework of compliance, stiffness, and geometry meant to lock the rear down and stop the car from acting out like a toddler in a toy store. Here's where things get juicy, because this test wasn't just technical, it was personal. Lewis Hamilton wasn't just there to turn laps. He was there to leave a mark. People inside Mugello have been whispering for months that some of the old guard didn't fully trust Lewis's input. They were like, he's a Mercedes guy. He doesn't get our car. The shade, y'all, the subtle disrespect. But last Thursday, Hamilton put all that to bed. Sources say his feedback during the test matched exactly what the data showed. Engineers were reportedly shook. One insider even said, it was the first time we felt like the car and driver were speaking the same language. And the way he pushed that SF-25 through Mugello's high-speed corners? One engineer said it felt like watching the ghost of Schumacher in a new era. Chills. Now let's talk about our golden boy, Charles Leclerc, Ferrari's heartthrob. Their chosen one was also in the car that day, but the mood around him, different. He was quieter, more calculated, reportedly guarded in his feedback. But here's the thing, insiders say he noticed something about the new setup that finally addressed the steering inconsistency he's been quietly venting about since Monaco. No, the one he admitted to Oscar Piastri in that off-the-record convo caught by a hot mic. Yeah, that. Word is, Charles knew this was a turning point, but he also knew that sharing the car with Lewis meant sharing influence. And for a guy who's used to being the face of Ferrari, that hits hard. One source close to the team said, Charles was watching more than driving that day, watching how the team listened to Lewis, watching how the car changed under him. After the test, Ferrari went dark. No flashy press release, no TikToks, no teasing. Just a vague statement about positive data collection and encouraging feedback. Y'all, that's F1 speak for something big happened, and we're not ready to talk about it. Meanwhile, back at the factory, engineers are reportedly working round the clock to get that Mugello setup race ready for Spa. And let's not forget Spa is brutal. It's fast. It's technical. It's where secrets get exposed. If that suspension doesn't work under real race conditions, Ferrari's entire upgrade plan could collapse. But if it does, oh honey, McLaren better watch out. This might be the spiciest part of all, because behind the test data and lap times, there's something way deeper going on at Ferrari, a shifting power dynamic between the very different drivers. One a 7-time champ with political clout, the other a homegrown star trying to hold onto his crown. Several sources say that test was more than a suspension check, it was a showdown. Ferrari's leadership is reportedly divided. One camp wants to build the car around Hamilton's feedback, betting on his championship pedigree. The other is loyal to Charles, who's been bleeding red for years. Whispers suggest that how the car is developed for the rest of the season might decide who becomes the true alpha at Ferrari heading into the 2026 regulation reset. Can you say, internal Game of Thrones? Let's zoom out, because as juicy as this suspension upgrade is for this season, the real game is being played in 2026. That's when the rules change, the engines reset, and everyone starts from zero. And get this, Ferrari's entire philosophy for that new era could be based on what happens at Spa. If this suspension works, it becomes the foundation for their next-gen car. Hamilton's fingerprints could be all over the 2026 chassis. Charles's influence could either rise or fade. And if it doesn't work, y'all, back to square one. Panic, politics, pressure, and maybe even personnel changes. Because as one team insider said, this isn't just about beating McLaren. This is about surviving the next era. And now, the twist no one saw coming. Reports just surfaced that Ferrari isn't done. There's a power steering upgrade planned for Hungary. Yup, right after Spa. And it's meant to complement the rear suspension changes. Translation? Ferrari is stacking upgrades like they're playing poker and going all in. But here's the kicker. According to a very reliable and anonymous, of course source from within the paddock, the final version of this suspension might be based more on Mercedes tech than anything Ferrari's used before. Gasp. Imagine that. Hamilton not just driving the car, but transforming its DNA from the inside. Y'all, is Lewis building Ferrari and Mercedes' image? And if he is, can Charles keep up? So here we are. A secret test, a silent power struggle, a game-changing upgrade, and two of the sport's biggest names locked in a high-stakes dance that could decide the future of Formula One. Spa is coming, the drama is building, and a question on everyone's lips is simple. Did Ferrari just fix their biggest problem? Or did they just expose it? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Are you Team Charles or Team Lewis?